So you guys just want to do a chill video where I show you all the Blu-rays and 4Ks I picked up recently? All right, cool, let's do it. Welcome to Cobwebs, everyone. My name is Daniel, and I've actually picked up a lot of physical media, a lot of movies recently. I got my Kino Lorber sale order in. I got my Arrow Video sale order in. I picked up some Vinegar Syndromes recently. I got Horror Pack. I got the most recent Horror Pack that I want to unbox for you guys too. I'm going to save that for last, actually. Lots to talk about, so let's go ahead and jump in first with my Kino Lorber sale. We've got The Silence of the Lambs on 4K. I actually did not own this movie, and I haven't seen this movie since I was a teenager, so I really need to rewatch it. When I was a kid, this was one of the movies that scared me the most, but I didn't see it when I was a kid. It's just from my parents telling me about this movie, and I had a fear of cannibals for so many years after that. So very happy to have this on 4K. Very happy to have the slipcover too, because Kino Lorber told me the slipcover was sold out and I was not going to get it, which I was bummed about because all of my Kino Lorber 4Ks are on slipcover, so it would have been the only one, but it was actually going for a really good price. It was only $16.99, but lo and behold, it came with a slipcover. So super excited about that. Super excited to rewatch this movie because it has been a really long time. Next up, I got The Odds Against Tomorrow. This is a 1950s drama noir film starring Robert Ryan, Harry Belafonte, and Shelley Winters. And I've heard for a long time this is a really great movie, and I'm really looking forward to checking it out. Never seen it. Really like that slipcover. It got some very salacious art for the 1950s there, which is fun to see. So I really like Robert Ryan and Harry Belafonte as actors very, very much. Next up, we got Number One with a Bullet. I got a lot of slipcovers with this order, which I was pretty happy to see. This is a 1980s action movie that's actually starring Billy D. Williams, Lando from Star Wars, very cool to see, but also Robert Carradine. If you don't remember who Robert Carradine is by name, he is the main super nerd from Revenge of the Nerds, and there he is as an action hero badass. So I'm very curious to see how that is going to work. I've heard conflicting reports. Some people seem to love him in this movie. Some people seem to not. So I've heard this is a good movie though, and I like cheesy 80s action movies. Then we got The House of the Long Shadows. This is a 1980s canon movie that is actually starring Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, Vincent Price, John Carradine, and also Desi Arnaz Jr. I have seen this movie before, although it's been a while, and I remember I really enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. This movie's kind of notorious for not being anywhere near as good as it should be, considering how many great actors are in it. But I just found it to be a silly good time, and I really like Desi Arnaz Jr. and his love interest in the movie, whose name escapes me, but I remember I found them very charming. And Kino Lorber actually put this out a long time ago. I've almost ordered it in the sale several times, but they recently re-released it with this slipcover. So I'm very happy to have that. I thought it's some really nice artwork there. Next up, oh, this is a big deal for me. The Boogins on 4K. This is one of their most recent 4K releases. Now, why was I so excited to get this? Because I was. Have I seen The Boogins? Not really, kind of. So this movie's kind of infamous for me because I slept through it at a 24-hour horror marathon that I went to one October many years ago. It played in the middle of the night, and I just remember like periodically waking up in the middle of the night and just seeing parts of the Boogins, just being like, what the heck is this? Oh, going back to sleep. It kind of became a joke for me and my friend who I went to this with, and like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get the Boogins. It's going to be so awesome. So I'm really excited to finally check this out on 4K. It's a 1981 creature feature horror movie. I've heard conflicting reports. Some people seem to really not like it. Some people love it. I've heard the actual creature, the Boogin or the Boogins, whatever, that you get to see at the end, looks like a pretty crappy practical effect, but I love practical effects, especially for monsters. So I feel like no matter what, I'm gonna enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to the Boogins in beautiful 4K for sure. Next up, we got The Bride Wore Black. This is actually isn't it a Truffaut film? Yeah, this is a Francois Truffaut film, and I have never seen that's hard to say. I've never seen a Truffaut film before, but a friend of mine highly recommended this. When the sale went live, we were kind of texting each other, and he's like, you guys should get The Bride Wore Black. And I was like, what the heck? It was $8.50. $8.50. It has a slipcover. It is a 1968 French revenge movie, and it's only 107 minutes, so I was kind of afraid to be some epic runtime, but it's really not. So yeah, gonna see my first Truffaut film. Have any of you guys seen this? Let me know down in the comments below. I am curious. That's the end of the slip-covered editions. Yeah, I told you, this is a lot of Blu-rays. I got a lot. This is Deep Star 6. This is an underwater horror film from 1989, which I believe is the same year that James Cameron's The Abyss came out. And I think Leviathan, too. So there are a lot of underwater horror films during this time. But this one's directed by Sean S. Cunningham, the director of the original Friday the 13th, and the director of The New Kids, which was one of my favorite discoveries of last year. I loved that movie. So I was excited to check out more Sean S. Cunningham movies. Doesn't have a lot of people in the cast that I recognize except Miguel Ferrer. That's kind of cool to see. So looking forward to Deep Star 6. Have any of you guys seen it? Let me know. And soon The Darkness. I am proud of myself that I finally bought this because for years, every Kino Lorber sale, I almost buy this. And I never do it. And it always ends up getting cut from my order. But I finally got it. This is a 1970s horror movie. And I understand it's about a couple of women on vacation in a European country. I want to say it's France. Yes, in the French countryside. And one of them goes missing, I think. And the other one's trying to find her, but she doesn't speak the language. So she's very isolated. I've heard it's great. I don't know. It's just took me forever to finally get this. But finally got And Soon The Darkness. And then not a Kino Lorber release, but Kino was selling it, so it was in the sale. This is a Code Red release of Don't Tell Her It's Me, aka The Boyfriend School. This is a 1980s rom-com with Steve Guttenberg and Jamie Gertz. Yes, Jamie Gertz from Lost Boys. And I watched this on Tubi recently, a few months ago, and I really enjoyed it. It's basically about Steve Guttenberg is kind of a loser at a bad point in his life. They put a lot of ridiculous makeup on him to make him bald and overweight. And he, to be honest, he looks kind of grotesque, like a horror movie monster or something. It's not great makeup. But his sister, Shelley Long, ends up whipping him into shape so that he can romance this beautiful woman he met, Jamie Gertz. And he gets into shape pretty quickly, and he grows long hair, a big mullet, and he pretends to be this like New Zealand badass on a motorcycle and kind of lies about who he is in order to get the girl. His sister Shelley Long's a romance novelist, so she tries to form him into a romance novel archetype. I thought it was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. But then I logged it on Letterboxd, and I discovered people hate this movie. They absolutely hate it. People act like it's one of the worst movies ever made, and people act like it's so morally reprehensible. This is such a horrible, immoral film because he lies about who he is to get a girl. And I'm like, okay, yes, you shouldn't lie about who you are in order to get someone to fall in love with you. But also, have you ever seen a romantic comedy? That's so many romantic comedies. They're kind of built on all of these lies and, you know, it's kind of screwball kind of stuff. Like, have you ever seen a Doris Day and Rock Hudson movie from the 60s? That's what they all are. I don't know. People were being unbelievably dramatic about this very silly little 80s rom-com. I'm kind of curious if it has alternate art because, like I said, it has an alternate title, The Boyfriend School. So I'm wondering, oh yeah, I'm reminded by the back of this that that guy from Blue Velvet is in this movie too. Yeah, Kyle MacLachlan, he's in this movie. Yes, it does have alternate art. Oh, that's awesome. The Boyfriend School. That is fantastic. I am going to switch this cover art. The Boyfriend School. That's pretty awesome. Psyched about this. So that is my Kino Lorber sale. Unbelievable. Here's a few Vinegar Syndromes I picked up. Very nice slipcovers, so I can't damage these. Starting off with the Playgirls and the Vampire. So these are actually all from a friend of mine. A friend of mine is a Vinegar Syndrome subscriber, so he gets in everything. And sometimes he doesn't, love them all, and he wants to get rid of some. And he was getting rid of these, and he gave me a great price on these. So thank you so much. He is awesome. What a phenomenal deal. So this is the Playgirls and the Vampire. This is a Italian Gothic horror film from the 1960s. And when this was announced, I knew I wanted to get it because, it's a Gothic horror movie. I kind of want to cover it on the channel. But Italian horror from the 60s is super hit or miss. Like most of the Bava stuff is great, but there's a lot of ups and downs. I don't have a ton of confidence that this is going to be great, but I know I want to check it out. This is one of the most recent Vinegar Syndrome releases. So have any of you guys got it? Have any of you guys seen it? Oh yeah, this is the on the back of the slipcover. So that looks very cool. Next up, we've got Night Screams on 4K. This is a, oh, there we go. This is a 1980s slasher movie. I think it might take place on a college campus. Interesting thing about this is when this movie was made, I think the producers decided it was a little too short or maybe just didn't have enough punch to it. So they ended up editing in clips from other movies. Like I think Graduation Day gets edited in here. So the theatrical cut is bizarre because it's like one movie, but then it's got other scenes that have nothing to do with anything else, with characters that aren't in the rest of the movie. But this release actually restores the original director's vision. So there is a really short cut that the director actually intended. There's alternate art. Don't actually like that very much. I think the slipcover that Vinegar Syndrome did looks way, way better. So I'm a little bit on the fence about which cut I want to check out first. Just watch the theatrical cut and just see how weird they made it into, or check out, I'm having a little trouble getting this perfectly, or just check out the cut that the director intended, that's shorter and probably better. And then Mother's Day on 4K. I think this is a trauma movie, kind of a messed up, disturbing movie, I think. I think it involves some like assault and revenge, that kind of a genre. But I've actually heard some really good things about this movie, that it's actually quite good. So yeah, on 4K, definitely looking forward to that. Let's go ahead and dig into my Arrow sale. There we go. Big box release of, put that over there, The Mill of the Stone Women. So this is I believe this is also an Italian Gothic film, but I think it's from the 70s or the 80s. I don't remember exactly. And I don't know what this movie is about, but Arrow released it, and I've heard so many great things about it. It seems like so many people thought this was fantastic, and I don't know what's going on with this mill. What's going on with these stone women? Are they actually stone? Is this a Gorgon situation, a Medusa kind of thing? I have no idea. Funny enough, I hardly ever buy these Arrow big box releases. Honestly, like I just think it's they come with an unnecessary amount of stuff, and they're unnecessarily expensive. But this was $20, $20 in the sale. This is so cool. Oh my gosh. And then we got the actual, I believe this is Blu-ray, not 4K. So there is the Blu-ray right there. And we've got a booklet, a thick booklet. This is awesome. And a poster as well. Oh my goodness. I really hope I love this movie because I've got a very fancy release of it. So if I don't even like it, that's going to be a bit of a bummer. So there is the Arrow art, but there's the original art. Oh my gosh, that looks so cool. Yeah, if I like this, that would honestly be a cool thing. Unbelievable. See, a beautiful girl changed into a petrified monster before your very eyes. That sounds cool. Chilling, monstrous, grisly, macabre, frightening. Oh my goodness. That's good marketing right there. Okay, and then another thing that I have been wanting for a while, but have been just waiting on the right price, is Cold War Creatures. This is 4 films of Sam Katzman. These are 1950s kind of B horror movies, I believe. I'm excited to watch all of these, but there's one movie in particular I'm very excited to watch because it's a movie I didn't know existed. But then I made my top 15 werewolf movies video, and a lot of people recommended The Werewolf from the 1950s. And this is an old vintage werewolf movie I was not aware of. So I'm super excited to watch this. I think this is probably, this feels like a cheaper material than Arrow usually does. So this is probably a basic version of a fancier release that already sold out. But that's fine with me. It was $35. $35 for all 4 of these. I was good with that. So there's The Werewolf. The Giant Claw. That looks fun. Zombies of Moratau, and Creature with the Atom Brain. So yeah, I think these are all from the 50s, 1950s B movies. And unless I absolutely hate these, I'm probably going to do a review on it, a little retrospective on Sam Katzman. I'm just kind of guessing he's the producer behind all of these. That's my guess. But do you guys have this release? Have you watched any of these? Please let me know down in the comments below. So that is my Arrow video sale order. Now we're just going to go over a few miscellaneous stuff I picked up before we jump into Horror Pack. So Next up from Indicator, we have got Torture Garden. Just got this. I had seen this movie before, but I wanted to rewatch it for my Amicus Anthology review series. This is the second Amicus Anthology review. Before, I wanted to watch it on Blu-ray in order to do that review. And I have already done the review. It will probably be posted by the time this comes out, so that's probably already posted. And you guys know my thoughts on Torture Garden. But it is a movie that is half good and half bad. So check out that review if you haven't yet. And then I just went to a used Blu-ray store with a friend and picked up a couple of things. First of all, Satan's Little Helper. This is a Synapse release. I've been wanting this ever since they released it, and just, I don't know, I've been dragging my feet. And I've seen this movie a long time ago, and I remembered really enjoying it. It is a Halloween horror movie from the 2000s, but it's actually directed by Jeff Lieberman. He also made Just Before Dawn in the early 80s, which is a slasher movie I really like. But yeah, there's Satan, there's a little kid out trick-or-treating. I remember really enjoying it. According to Letterboxd, it seems like also a lot of people really don't like this movie. So I'm almost wondering, like, was I just caught up in the Halloween atmosphere? Is it not actually that good? I don't know, but I'm super looking forward to checking it out, especially before I eventually make another like Halloween movies recommendations video that I'll definitely do around October like I did last year. So that's Satan's Little Helper. And then I got Night of the Living Dead. This is the 1990 remake, and I've never seen this, actually. It seems like a lot of people really dig this remake. It's directed by Tom Savini, actually. Apparently it was a really bad experience for him, which is why he did not direct again. And yeah, I'm just very much looking forward to it. And then Last House on the Left. This is the 2009 remake, another remake of a classic horror movie. Yeah, I'm actually a big fan of the Wes Craven original. I think it's better than a lot of people give it credit for. And I've always wanted to see this remake because I've actually heard it's a pretty good remake, and it's the kind of movie you could see getting remade. You know, I like the original Last House on the Left, but it's not an untouchable classic. And I've heard this is a pretty good update, so it was really cheap. So I was like, yeah, let's check out the Last House on the Left remake. Hey everyone, Daniel from the future, editing this video, here to tell you that when I made this video, I completely forgot to grab my copy of Night of the Blood Monster. This is a new Blue Underground 4K release of a Jess Franco witch hunting period piece film from the 1970s. I was a little resistant to get this at first because I'm not always the biggest Jess Franco fan, but I've heard good things about it, and the Vinegar Syndrome 4K of Dr. Terror's House of Horrors just made me want to see more of these kind of movies in 4K. So I'm really excited to check it out. And don't be surprised if you see a review of this pop up on the channel. It's entirely possible. Okay, that's everything I know I picked up. Then, like I said, Horror Pack was kind enough to send me their next, their April box for review. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what's in there. I think I might feel one slipcover in there, which is pretty cool. But let's go ahead and take them out one at a time. First of all, oh cool, Black Friday. I've heard of this movie. I've not heard great things about it, but it's a horror movie, a recent horror movie that has Bruce Campbell in the lead role about the crew of a department store on Black Friday that I think has to fend off zombies. I think it's zombies. That's what it looks like on the back, which is a pretty good metaphor for Black Friday, right? Aren't we consumers all zombies going out to the stores on Black Friday? It just kind of, you know, it writes itself. So I've always kind of wanted to check this out. So this is great. This is great that I finally have the chance to watch it. Next up, this is probably the Horror Pack exclusive. Yes, it is. So Craving. A group of drug addicts, let me hold it up so you can look at it. A group of drug addicts are besieged by a group of mysterious figures inside a rural bar. As withdrawal starts to set in, the patron staff and a group of armed invaders inside a rural bar it says rural bar twice, must identify the bloodthirsty psycho amongst themselves before it's too late. I don't know, they couldn't even put in the work to proofread the back to not notice that they said inside a rural bar twice, 2 sentences in a row. I'm not sure. I don't know. That doesn't look super great to me. Just being honest. The Last Victim. I don't think I've heard of this one. So this one's got Ron Perlman and Ali Larter, and Ralph Ineson. Oh, he's the dad in The Witch. He's fantastic. It's a neo-Western thriller. Modern-day outlaws and their terrifying leader are pursued by a sheriff after committing a horrific crime. This actually might be kind of good. I dig a movie with Western vibes, so I'm kind of interested in this one, even though I've never heard of it before. And lastly, we've got The Breach. I've never heard of this one either. It says executive produced by Slash, like from Guns N' Roses. What's going on here? The horribly disfigured corpse of scientist has washed up in a canoe, and it's up to small town officer John Hawkins to upper the victim's cabin and investigate. They start experiencing weird phenomena, wasps, hideous drawings, maybe some kind of a witchcraft kind of thing. They seem to have some kind of a rural theme going on here. All of these are like small town, rural, kind of Western kind of things. And this might be in a small town too. I don't know. But yeah, seems like that kind of a theme. So I'm looking forward to checking this out. I'm not sure about these, but this one sounds interesting. So that's the next horror pack. Thank you so much to Horror Pack for sending me that. So that is my massive Blu-ray collection update. Thank you all so much for checking in. And if you want to hear me continue to talk about Blu-rays, check out my last watch list video where I talked about all the Blu-rays that I watched over the past month, March 2023. I'll put a link up here if you want to stick around the channel. But give a like if you enjoyed this and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you so much for watching. With all that said, don't forget to take some time to enjoy yourself today. Maybe watch a movie, kick back, relax, and I'll see you next time.